5. Now, again, using the mathematical code and breaking down numbers and letters, then you look, it's like a safe of treasure. If you turn the right connection, then you can open the safe, and then you can get the gold, right? Okay, so we were promised gold. Slave master left and gave it his interpretation, right? So then that gold one day will become ours, wherever it is, because the Savior came to give us luxury, money, good homes, friendship, and all walk of life. But we have to do the work to spiritually come into the knowledge of who we are. And then all things will be given unto us. 5. Now, again, using the mathematical code and breaking down numbers and letters, then you look, it's like a safe of treasure. If you turn the right connection, then you can open the safe, and then you can get the gold, right? Okay, so we were promised gold. Slave master left and gave it his interpretation, right? So then that gold one day will become ours, wherever it is, because the Savior came to give us luxury, money, good homes, friendship, and all walk of life. But we have to do the work to spiritually come into the knowledge of who we are. And then all things will be given unto us.
Everything's always about the dream. Always about the dream. I was 20 years old.
What you got?
I'd already done 6 years in corporate America. And a guy stopped me in the locker room and asked me, do I know anyone who'd like to make an extra $50, $100 a month? He didn't talk about getting rich. He didn't talk about getting wealthy. He didn't talk about freedom. So you don't have to oversell this thing. You know, the average person would love to make an extra $300 to $500 a month. So we talk about putting millions of people in carry bars. Now we're talking about 20, 30, 40 million people in carry bars. We're not talking about everybody become a multi-billionaire. You can, if you want to pay that price. I hear people all the time say, I want to be a billionaire. Well, okay. No problem. I want to be a multi-millionaire. Well, you can. Okay. But it's going to require you cutting off the television. It's going to require you missing some football games, some basketball games. It's going to require some sacrifice on part that only you know if you're willing to make. So I like keeping it simple. That guy asked me, do I know anybody like to make an extra $50, $100 a month? I said, yes, me. I didn't know what he was talking about, and I got excited. I got a little bit excited. I got a twinge of hope. That I was 6 years in corporate America. I mean, I'm 20 years old. Had my own home, 4 cars in the driveway, pool in the backyard. My wife was a flight attendant, so I could fly anywhere in the world pretty much for free or for peanuts. Okay, I had all the cars I wanted to drive, didn't buy insurance, didn't put gas in them. The company fed me 5, 6 nights a week. I'm living on a company expense report. I mean, I live a lifestyle people dream about. Wore my shirt and tie to work, my briefcase. I look good, status good, but as far as I was concerned, I was still broke. Not broke compared to my next door neighbor. Not broke compared to the guys in my neighborhood. Just broke compared to people who had some real money. That makes sense. Just broke, like one of my nephews one day asked me, Uncle Tyrone, people in the family say you're rich. I said, well, compared to you, I'm rich. You don't have any money. But compared to Oprah, Uncle Tyrone broke. Okay, so it's a relative term. Money is relative. And money is not to do all to say all. Okay, because when you have some serious health issues going on that money can't solve, you realize how unimportant money is. But I tell you what, I got started. And I'll never forget that first meeting I was sitting there, Mr. Williams, Miss Abram. I'll never forget it. I'm sitting at first meeting on about 200 people in that room, maybe 180, 200 people. And that guy was talking about homes and cars. He was talking about all these material things you could have. And I'm sitting saying, man, I got 4 cars in the driveway now. I got 2 Lincolns in the driveway, a Ford Mustang and a Grand Marquis, 2 company cars and 2 I own. I was just sitting there, didn't mean anything to me. But all of a sudden he started talking about something that meant something. He said, have you ever thought about being free? Now, as far as I was concerned, I thought I was free. I mean, he talking about the height of ignorance. I thought I was free. He said, have you ever thought, no, I mean really free. I said, I'm free right now. He said, I know that some of you are sitting there thinking you're free. He said, if you think you're free, don't show up on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and by Thursday, you'll be free. And when he said that, it hit me. I was not free. He said, freedom is when you throw away the alarm clock and you sleep to the crack of noon. Freedom is when you wake up in the morning and do what you want to do with your life. Freedom is when you go to that golf course on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday and play golf when everybody else is at the office. Freedom is when you go fishing on Tuesday, Wednesday. Freedom is when you stroll in the movies with your kid on a Wednesday afternoon and there's nobody in the movie theater but you and your child because everybody else is at work. Freedom is when all the fathers at work and you're the only father at the Little League baseball game with your kid or your grandkids. Man, he started painting that picture for freedom, guys. And I never forget, I sit up in my chair. I said, wait a minute, what's this freedom thing you're talking about? Okay. And it blew my mind. He asked a simple question. What's retirement age? Everybody started yelling out numbers. 65, 75. Said, see how we've been conditioned? Retirement doesn't have anything to do with age. Retirement has everything in the world to do with money. This couple speaking from the stage were 32 years old. He and his wife were both retired. 2 brand new Cadillacs in their driveway, owned their brand new home. And they were both retired at 32 years old. I said, oh my God, I got to get this freedom thing. Okay. And I didn't know. I know how long it's going to take me to get free. Some of you right now today, you don't know how long it's going to take you to get free. You want to be free right now, you can taste it. I see Dante Taylor, he can taste it, man. He can taste it. I can hear it in his voice. He can take that people want, he can taste this freedom thing. They want it, but you willing to pay the price to get it. When I saw it, I was willing to pay the price. Man, I was before then. I knew every television program that came out. I was a walking TV guide. You could call me and say, "What time did the show come on, Tyrone?" I didn't have to put out the news, but I could tell you what time it came out. I was a walking TV guide. Okay, I spent the weekend watching football like everybody else. But when I saw freedom, when I saw that freedom thing, when I was sold that dream of freedom, man, I shut it all down. I said, "I'm going after freedom." And at 32 years old, I was able to. My wife and she was able to walk away from a job she'd been on for 8 years as a flight attendant for U.S. Air. And she walked, yes, we gave up the flying privileges. Yes, we gave the benefits. Yes, we gave up the stock options, gave it all up. Okay, why? So I had a kid and he didn't even know his mama. He'd come home and she'd go to reach for him and he'd run because she's flying and she didn't know him and he didn't know her. Okay, it was breaking her heart. I said, quit. She walked away at 32 years old. My son don't even remember. He's 32 right now. He don't ever remember his mother having a job. It took me 8 more years. I didn't retire till I was 40 years old. I'm telling you, I'd do it all over again. It took me 20 to walk into a job you've had for 10 years, 18 years in corporate America and say, I'm out and never look back. That was July 14th. July 14th. That's tomorrow. That'll be 22 years. Freedom. What it's all about. Back to you, Mr. Williams.
Business is really warfare, but it's the activity of life itself. You say, well, business means I need to open up a business. Okay, yeah, that's right. But real activity of life has to deal with all the essentials of life that we must provide for ourselves, our families, our future. I have something in my pocket that, gee, where is it? Oh, yeah. I have a gold coin. In 1961, I was sitting with Elijah Muhammad. And he took out of his pocket a gold coin. This is 1 ounce of gold, pure gold. Okay? Mr. Muhammad put it on the table. He said, one day soon, this gold coin will be the new medium of exchange. White people are moving into the inner city. Some of them knocking on doors. They come with money and they ask you for your gold. Because what they're giving you, I think I got some of that in my pocket. Yeah, I think I do. Now this is paper. This is not real money. This is real money. Silver, that's real money. Now you young people, some of the elders in the audience, like myself, this used to be called a silver certificate. How many old people in here know when this was a silver certificate? And you know what it said on the bottom? Pay to the bearer on demand $50 in silver, the real money. This is what you call monopoly money. Oh, you didn't hear me. We're going to do some business tonight. Because business is really warfare. What's about to happen? This week it came out in the news that in 2016, all the major banks are in trouble. It started with J.P. Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. What makes a bank in trouble? When the value of the paper that they have begins to lose its value, then the bank is in serious trouble. And so are we who have our money in the bank. Now, white people that are in your neighborhood, they're in the pawn shop now, and they're telling you in the window, bring the gold, we got cash for you. They know you don't know that this is losing its value every day. But gold will increase in value. Now this one here, I bought it today, or sent a brother to get it today, because I wanted to use it to explain something. 1 ounce of gold, this little piece right here, is $1,237 today. It went up to $1,800, but it began to fall. But when Elijah Muhammad put that gold coin on the table, an ounce of gold you could buy for $35 an ounce.
Greetings, family. Brother Eric Teray Muhammad coming at you. Ready for Revolution. Assalamu alaikum. I want to thank all of you for participating in this global wealth building event. Please, by all means, share with all of your teams, those who are affiliates, share it with your referral link. Share it everywhere you can, far and wide. On your shares, attach your referral link because you want them to get back to you, those you've introduced the opportunity to that we're going to discuss today. I feel very privileged, very honored to share this opportunity because I know in this hour it was ordained by the God himself. So I'm going to share with you about that language, gold, how it reflects and how it represents the language of God. And in order to understand that with a little more clarity, let's help to understand this. You saw clips in the beginning of this, and if you came in late, it'll be up for a while. Please go back and replay. You heard Mother Tainetta Muhammad, the wife of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and she explained what we were guaranteed as believers in Islam, as servants of God. We were guaranteed the luxury, the money, the good homes, and the friendships in all walks of life. And she broke down the process of how we had to be prepared and made ready for that when it came. Then after that, you heard our CEO and founder of Wealth Builders Worldwide, Mr. Tyrone Best. Mr. Tyrone Best has been a free man in America, a free Black man in America for the last 25 years. His wife, Mrs. Valerie Best, co-founder of the organization, hasn't had a job in 37 years. Then you have their sons, one 19, one just turned 36. Never, ever had to even apply for a job, and it'd be trivia pursuit if you ask them what their social security number was. They don't know. That's a free family in America. What kind of free is that? Well, let's look at those of us who thought we were free up till last week or today. We're under financial quarantines. We're under physical quarantines. We're under health quarantines, and we're being asked not to come out of our homes. Well, if you have not dug your well before needing the water, you are in need of a better way right now. But you got to have the courage to produce it. Check this out.
You got to have the courage. Do you have the courage to act outwardly on what you see inwardly? Or will you die a dreamer? Will you die on the verge and on the edge and in the land of coulda, woulda, and shoulda? Do you have the courage? I'm going to drop something on you. It takes courage to be successful. It is far easier not to be successful. Misery will always have company. Success breeds contempt. If you don't want to make waves, be mediocre. Be normal and fit in. And if you're more concerned about people than you are God, then neutralize everything he put in you. Just fit in with everybody else. Dress like them, walk like them, act like them, eat like them, go where they go, think like they think, do what they do. And once you've neutralized your uniqueness, you don't need courage. It takes courage to be different. It takes courage to go where you've never gone before. For some of you, it took courage to come to this conference. It takes courage to get you outside of the box. It takes courage to be successful. It takes courage to win. People don't talk about people that don't win. If you win, they're going to talk about you. Do you have the courage to stand there though the storms keep raging and the people get to talking and you stand there and say, I've come too far to turn around? Do you have the courage? I'm going to say something to you. It takes courage to be exceptional. It takes courage to be wise. It takes courage to be rich. It takes courage to be educated. It takes courage to be knowledgeable. Because the moment you do, you don't talk like, oh, you forgot where you came from. Look at you, talk to, it takes courage. And I'm just wondering, in this weak, watered-down, mediocre society that we live in today, in this reality TV world we live in today, I'm wondering if there's anybody left that's got say, after all I've been through, and all my ancestors have been through, and all my parents have been through, I didn't come through all of that just to fit in with normalcy. I have the courage to go after my dream. Is there a woman left in this entire Coliseum that's got some courage?
Lord. I'm Brother Eric Teray Muhammad. Okay. I'm a part of Wealth Builders Worldwide. This is a group of independent affiliates who work the opportunity of Carabal's International. Carabal's International is an e-commerce company based in Stuttgart, Germany. And as a wealth builder, our business are people. We are in the people building business, but our product is gold, and gold is money. To your left there, you see in the picture, Mr. Tyrone Best. He is the CEO and founder of Wealth Builders Worldwide, and he embarked on a dream, and he lived his dream. He helped it to be realized. He realized the dream, but now he has another quest. He knows if it worked for him, it has to work for the masses. If it happened for him, it has to happen for the masses. And we're in an opportunity right now where we can literally close the wealth gap in our homes, let alone society on the whole. So I'm currently a bronze director in the world of Carabas and a student of Wealth Builders Worldwide. I'm also a follower and a helper to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan of the Nation of Islam. That black and white picture you see next to Mr. Best, that's my Baba father, Kwame Ture, formerly known as Stokely Carmichael, and some of the family. Here underneath, you have the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who without his guidance, without his leadership, without his genuine love for humanity, I could not be here doing my part, whatever part they may be, in the liberation process. So I'm honored and thankful and grateful to offer this opportunity to you. In the world of wealth builders, think of it like the National Football League, if you will. And the National Football League is comprised of many teams. Well, if Mr. Best is the commissioner, then you have other teams. I'm also a member of Team Freedom. I'm a member of Team Kalfani. In fact, we want to thank Brother Khalito Muhammad and Team Kalfani and Kalfani Radio for assisting in producing the slides and the media that you're seeing today. I'm a host on the Kalfani Radio platform, the Facebook page of the Gold is Gold show on Kalfani Radio Facebook page, and we're there every Tuesday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm a contributor, a regular contributor to the Final Call newspaper, the biggest, the baddest, the boldest, the most widely circulated Black-owned and operated newspaper in the world. And where others like Mr. Warren Buffett sold off all of his shares of newspaper affiliations because he said they were rags. We don't carry rags here. We clean people up with rags. We show a truth, and we represent a platform, a program, and position that's good for the entire humanity. And that has prepared us for this hour in which we're sharing this opportunity with you today. So support your Final Call newspaper. And that beautiful queen that I'm hugged onto right there, that's Sister Michelle Falami Muhammad. That is my wife. She sponsored me into this opportunity. And since then, family, since coming into this just a few short months ago, I have built teams throughout the United States, the United Kingdom, Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, Philippines, China, India, Pakistan, and we're growing. One person at a time, 1 gram at a time, and you have that opportunity as I had. I fired my boss. I retired the plantation. I worked solely in this opportunity to save gold, tell people, and make a residual income from the comforts and safety of my home. We are obligated to share this opportunity with you because many of you now are in a situation where you're made to sit still. The Lord, the God, the supreme being, the creator, whomever you call him, made you to come to a grinding halt. The world came to a grinding halt. And there's some things we're going to share with you today where you don't have to be dismayed. You don't have to be disgruntled. You don't have to be perplexed. There's hope on the horizon. It's here in this opportunity. And you have the opportunity in front of you today. It all starts with a dream, family. When I talked about Mr. Best earlier, he was working in corporate America. And a gentleman walked up to him in the locker room and asked him, hey, do you know anybody that's interested in making an extra $500 a month? And he said, yes, he was. He didn't even know why he answered. He mentioned that in the video earlier. And now you see what we have. Wealth Builders Worldwide is an organization of 100,000 plus affiliates, all working for themselves but not by themselves. And we work in the opportunity to help people realize the lifestyle of their dreams. And how do you do that? Well, you have to understand what a dream is, and then you dream bigger. You have to understand what a lifestyle is after you made certain accomplishments in freedom. And we're going to share some of that with you today. Mr. Best is also a best-selling author, and his latest book, The Dream Chaser Manifesto, A Dreamer's Guide to Surviving in a Jungle of Non-Dreamers, is available to you with just a simple phone call or visiting our many sites and webinars, and we'll find a way to get that truth to you today. Now you have to ask yourself the hard question. What is your plan? The whole world was brought to a grinding halt. I know we go over the conspiracy theories and we know about the health crisis out here with the coronavirus. It's real, family. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan encouraged us today, just through a presentation done by his able student national representative, assistant minister of Mosque Mariam, Brother Minister Ishmael Muhammad. He shared from the minister to take serious all the notions and admonishments given by health professionals. Take it serious. And he's urged everyone to stay out of the streets over the next 9 days. This is the greatest incubation period because it can spread. So everyone's being urged around the world to cool their heels, but particularly now in America, now that we are the designated epicenter. Be still and let God. But in your stillness, let's assess some things, because your stillness wasn't produced on your own, many of you. Some of your stillness was produced through circumstances and conditions. So understand this. If you always do what you have always done, you will absolutely always get what you've always gotten. So this is not about declaring you insane. It's just that you only knew one way, family. There was a system put in place. That system said, if you get a good education, you can have a good job, you can move into a good community, you can raise a good family, and then you can start that cycle all over again. Well, that system is broken. You're sitting on couches all over America right now, throughout the world. You're sitting in beds, watching this stream on your phone, sitting in unspoken places, just wondering what the next step is. Where are you in life right now? And where would you like to be in the future? See, the distance between those two questions, where you are right now and where you'd like to be, is in having a dream. That's the distance. Then you have to ask yourself the truth-telling question. If you keep doing for the next 10 years from your couch or from your bed or wherever you're sitting right now at home because you can't go out, if you keep doing for the next 10 years what you did for the last 10 years, will you reach their goals? The truth of the matter is we will not, because we just don't have enough time to keep doing what we've been doing. Let's look at something really ugly here. It's called the Matrix timeline. We spent 21 years getting education, family, all the way through grad school, postgraduate work, only to get a job. That's hustling backwards. Okay? That's 40-40-40 plan that has failed you right now, that has failed you and I right now. Many of us have worked 40 years of our life, 40 hours a week, and retired on 40% less of the income that we were working for in the first place, and that in itself wasn't enough. So it leaves us dazed and confused. We retired between the age of 62, 65. Now they're talking about producing a retirement age of 72. Why? Because you cannot retire on what was done. The average life expectancy in America now is 81 years old. That means you have 16 years of life expectancy after retirement. And there's no way in the world you can handle all that, particularly when healthcare costs in retirement alone are roughly $300,000. If you're 60 years old, you got a doctor. 60 years old, you guarantee you're going to a pharmacist. You're getting your teeth fixed, you're getting your eye worked on, you're getting your hearing checked, you're getting your feet did. All kinds of things are happening, and you cannot afford it on a fixed retirement income. So you have many in the world who have lost their entire savings, depleted, not because you did it, but because it was a gamble in the first place. Now, some of us Didn't understand what we were saying early on. I get it. You know, I get it. I was attacked for sharing this information with you earlier because it was something that was really unknown, something that you weren't made to focus on, or you took it personal because you followed all the value system. And then here I come and others come to say, hey, that's not working. And you say, how dare you? But you gambled. This was the biggest scratch card, the biggest lottery ever to hit and trick the hells of North America, the 401k. The 401k was produced to replace the pensions because corporations did not want to be responsible for you in retirement. They didn't want you to have the golden parachute. They wanted the golden parachute. And if you don't believe me, 1,300 CEOs of major corporations throughout the world resigned before this crisis hit. All in the same week to 2 weeks. Many of them are cashing out their stock options in their own company, moving the cash towards an asset or holding it so they can bring it back later to purchase and buy on the low. But you, the average working man and woman, you don't have that luxury. So you believed on the dream of the 401k, not knowing the pension went away, equating the 401 with the pension, and you end up losing everything. When the Dow dropped 2,300 points, and then 1,800 points the day before, 900 points yesterday, the S&P drops 400 and 500 points. What is happening? What's happening is millions of jobs are being wiped off the face of the earth. In fact, all the degrees that many of us have, 70% of those degrees, you don't even work in the field that you got your degree in. And 60% of those 70, those jobs are now obsolete. Social Security in 14 years is destined to run out of cash reserves. What are you going to do if you're 60 and you got 14 more years hoping to get fixed income? It's already not enough. What is going to happen when it's wiped out? Many of us are consolidating now. We are a unique set of people. We are baby boomer generation. I'm a baby boomer generation. That generation is where you are basically the breadwinner, and your parents now, many of us, our parents or in-laws are still alive. So now we care for them in this age group, but yet we have children behind us who are born into a demographic where there's no purchasing power with their money. Cash is trash. So now we're caring for them as well as our grandchildren. It's a very precarious situation to be in. So now we consolidate. Everybody's under one roof. The dream home we hope for has been downsized. In fact, when your 401k was lost, well, no graduation money. Well, no dream house money, no trip around the world money. No, you don't have the ability to pay for college for your children money. All of that was wiped out without the possibility of return. So what do? Some of you jump back into the workforce. That's why you find us 70, 75, 80 years old. There was a man last month retired, or 2 months ago, retired at 100 years old from being a greeter at Walmart. And some of us as elders say, we just want to get out the house. If you just want to get out the house, you take a trip. You don't go and get a job. Now, I do know we have some rude definitions for job. Job is described as just over broke. Job is described as jumped out of bed. But job, family, in truth, technically, it means selling time for money. It means selling time for money. You're giving up your time freedom, your location freedom, your financial freedoms, and you relegate yourself to fixed hourly wage or a salary. But if you know a better way, I believe in my being, if you knew a better way, you would accomplish it. And where do you get in this matrix, in this hard truth timeline, where do you get to finally retire debt-free without any obligations? When you're called home. When you're called home. Look, family, these are hard truths. There's no doubt about it. And for some of you, it's been quite painful. But you got to have this talk. Some of you have new families coming in the world. Everybody's happy at the birth of the new baby, but now you got to have that talk. What is the talk? You're going to go to school for 12 years, college for 4 more years, and then you're going to work until you die. You're in a broken system, and it leaves your baby bewildered. You don't want to look like that. You don't want to live like that. You don't want to think like that because you don't see options like that. See, the problem is you can't outwork exponential inflation with a linear income, meaning the cost of living is going up and your pockets stay flat. It is impossible to keep pace. No one even thinks about how much it costs to even have a job. Don't have enough time to do the same thing. If you continue to do what you've always done, you're guaranteed to always get what you've always gotten. Warren Buffett, he lost $28 billion in 2 weeks. But he ain't hurting. He still went to dinner. He still hung out with his wife. He's still over his little enterprises. He said, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Well, what does he and the wealthy know that we don't? Now, this isn't the politic talk. This isn't the talk about slave and slave master relationship. This isn't the talk about brought into the hells of North America as a trick. It's not that talk, though it's applicable. This talk is in the now. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you'll work until you die. Well, first of all, you have to know what money is. Gold is money, family. In fact, another gentleman, our senior mentor in the Wealth Builders Worldwide, he wears the moniker as CEO. His CEO is not Chief Executive Officer. His CEO stands for Continuously Empowering Others. This is Brother Michael L. Dalco, Wealth Builders Worldwide. And he brings more focus to the previous quote given from Mr. Buffett. Mr. Dalco says, if you don't find out what real money is, you will work until you die. Because what is it to have real money? Well, in the definition of money, anything that's defined as money must be a store of value. It must store your labor. It must be worth as much or more in the future as it is today. The question you need to ask yourself is, do you have money? So paper is just what it is. A tree blend with paper and it blends paper and cotton comes from the earth. So now you blend these two entities and you end up with paper. Well, what can you do with paper? Can it be a store of value? The dollar is worth 3 to 5 cents worldwide right now, depending on how much they infuse into the world. $2 trillion stimulus bill was put into the world today, and I'm here to tell you it's a trick. But if you know what it is, you can manipulate it to your advantage. But not knowing behooves me to share with you today. Y'all better share this stream. I'm about to tell you how you're going to make your money. Now think about this. What are the uses of paper? You can wipe with it, you can blow in it, or cough in it. You can write on it. You can burn it. But does it have the ability to store value? In order to store value, it must have weight. When you let go of a paper bill and it hits the ground, do you hear it? It doesn't store weight. There's no value to it. Check out Mr.
Let's
Kiyosaki.
look at gold now. Last time you were on, it's been about 2 years, and you were telling me how gold for you is real money.
Yes.
I'm guessing that your view hasn't changed much.
No, I started buying gold in 1972, right after I understood what Nixon did in 71 by taking us off the gold standard. And I've been a student of gold, which is why I love Kitco so much. See, gold is not only real money, it's spiritual money. I remember I was way out in Fiji one time talking to this guru out there, and I said, this guy was dripping with gold. I said, why do you have gold on? And he goes, looks like I was some kind of idiot, you know, he's a very spiritual man. He says, gold are the tears of God. Gold attracts wealth. So he says, if you want, let's say, $1,000 a month income, you hold $1,000 of real gold somewhere near your person in your house. That's why he was hanging all around him. So it's that real gold attracts, and it has so for thousands of years.
That's something to consider. Now, here's one man who knows, if nobody else, because Mr. Robert Kiyosaki is the author of the famous book, probably one of the most famous books in finance in the world, called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Okay, and he understands the power of gold. Gold is a wealth attractor. Gold is that instrument of value known as an asset. An asset, family, is the instrument of value that appreciates over time. So let me give you a little bit of history of the gold. I'll read this out to you because I don't expect it to be resolute enough for you to see. But gold is a precious metal. It has emotional, cultural, and financial value, and many people across the globe buy gold for different reasons. Often influenced by a range of national, social, cultural factors, local markets conditions, and wider microeconomic drivers. Money affects our daily lives and is necessary for survival. He who has a little, wants more. Anyone who already has money wants to secure and protect it. But how? Take advantage of the secret of the wealthy. Invest in something that will only gain value. Gold is known since 2,800 years as a sign for power and wealth, and was also used as a currency in form of bars. In the 6th century, the first gold coins had been minted. Gold is and has been globally accepted today more than 194 countries for centuries, thus establishing itself as a form of stable and secure world currency. So in Wealth Builders, we show you the language of God through gold. We show God's power through gold. God is defined in most religious circles as power and force. Okay, that's a fundamental. God is defined as power and force. So what do we show you with his language of power and force? We show you how to create residual income. We show you how to accumulate this appreciating asset, gold, 1 gram at a time, quite affordable, able to store in your home, able to store wherever you like. We outrun, outpace, and outdistance exponential inflation. We're not even touched by it. And you are in a position where that can happen for you. And you can take advantage of utilizing the tax code. Now, remember, as a home-based business, remember just a few moments ago, you heard from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and he referred to the paper, the dollar, as toilet paper and monopoly money. Let's show you what happens when you really understand the dynamics of losing in monopoly.
Oh my gosh.
Where's all your money gone, Donnie?
Taxes. 9, 10, 11. Let me fix my houses.
Bug, it's okay. It's part of the game.
No, it's not.
It is.
Fun.
It's not fun to what?
It's the worst part of the game.
It's what?
Taxes.
Poor little Donnie. What did he understand? He knows that taxes could take as much as 40% of your income that you work so hard for over the course of your career. Now, remember, I made a comment. I asked you, do you understand or do you know how expensive it is to keep a job? Think about it. You're so happy when you get the interview and you go to the next interview and they decide, hey, you're the candidate we want, and they want you to sign on the dotted line, and you agree to an hourly wage or you agree to a salary, and you're so happy to get that check once every 2 weeks, or in some instances, once a month, or in some instances, some people even get it once a week. All right, I don't know how it's going to work now with everybody sitting on their duff, but we were happy. We were content in thinking that because it was in our face, we would say, hey, now we can find a way to establish something for ourselves, make a way for ourselves, a vehicle by which we can provide a living and well-being for our family. And there's truth to that when you have real money. But look, check out how expensive it is. Think about what you paid to get your clothes clean, how you had to get your teeth brushed and your hair done, and all the things or trappings that came along with the transportation to get to the interviews. Then you finally get the job, you got to get a uniform, you got to get clothes clean, you got to make sure you eat, that's going to cost you. You got to make sure you have lunch, that's going to cost you. Breaks, that's going to cost you. Transportation to get to and from work, that's going to cost you. All that is a daily cost that's not factored into your hourly wage or into your salary. And then you still get taxed on top of that. So when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said taxation without representation is tyranny, hey, you don't think all of America and the world sees it now? Why don't they tell you about gold being money when it's even in your Constitution that the only thing that should be recognized as money is gold and silver? Because it's the language of God. And you can't separate God and state, but this society has found a way to do it. And look where we are today. So what do we do about this? Well, you have to own a business, but not just any kind of business. Let me explain. Because this is the opportunity that's in front of you right now. This is known from Mr. Kiyosaki as the cash flow quadrant. Okay, to the left of the vertical line, we'll begin there. That's the poor side of the quadrant. 95% of the all workforce have jobs. You can't build leverage with a job, nor can you build leverage if you have a job, if you own a job, because you have the same responsibility as an employee, except you open the doors, you close the doors, you turn the power on, you turn the power off, you create payroll, you provide inventory. There's a lot more involved when you own the job as opposed to having a job, but both produce the same lackluster result. You may see a little more money owning the job as opposed to having the job, but what neither entity has in that quadrant is leverage to secure their future. All of us that works on this side of the quadrant at the end of the day has more days left in the month than they have check. But when you join us on this side of the quadrant, you've embraced a system. You've embraced a system where you allow the efforts of everyone involved to replace the efforts solely of your own. And it allows you to build wealth to the extent scholars say up to 95% wealth. And then you are in position to make money work for you instead of being on the left side of that quadrant, always working for money. So a leveraged business is what it takes to own a business. And to truly own a business, you have to have a system by which it reflects the maximizing of the quadrants of B&I. That makes you transition from the poor to rich to wealthy to free. We do this in Carabal's International. We answer all those keys. We give you residual income, or the creation of it rather, the opportunity to create it. Accumulating, appreciating assets, we got that. Outrun, outpace inflation, all the way. And we utilize the advantages of the tax code. You'll never be like Donnie if you apply yourself to the system that we're introducing to you today. Our company is based in Stuttgart, Germany, just across or adjacent rather from the Mercedes-Benz headquarters. We're the world's largest distributors of gold in small increments. In fact, inside of our building, you'll find another corporation called FedEx. Carabal's International is the #1 client of FedEx. Anywhere in the world where physical gold can be delivered, FedEx drops it to your door. Here's our visionary, Dr. Harold Constantine Sykes, founder, visionary, CEO, senator of the Economic Global Community, a 2-time author, and accomplished. He's also known in many circles as the King of Gold. He said his mission is to produce the highest quality gold available in the market, make it easily accessible to the masses of honest people around the world at a price point everyone can afford. My goal, he said, is that Carabal's helps millions find financial freedom from the current system of debt. Think about that. If you own gold in 1932, if you had $100,000 worth of gold, then today it's worth over $6 million. Gold is an appreciating asset. So you're living for the now, you're living for the moment, and you don't see the movement of the gold. Don't think it ain't moving. It's always ahead of the pace. I started in this opportunity, my wife and I, in September, the end of September, beginning of October in 2018. At that time, gold was just over $1,100 an ounce, approaching $1,200. Today, gold is $1,700 and is on track to be $3,000 an ounce. Now, Carabal's has been around since 2011. How many people have been stacking gold since then? There's 100,000 members of Wealth Builders worldwide. There are 900,000 affiliates in Carabal's International, and the world still does not see us coming. There's 8 billion people in the world. Only 1% know that gold is available, affordable, and transactionable, and is available to you today to leverage the economy in your own home. And it all starts from a free position. So remember how we talked about inflation, right? Well, let's look at price stability, because that's what you need. You don't have any purchasing power. Look, most of our spiritual centers today on Sunday around the world are closed. And we're grateful to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for having able-bodied students, able-bodied officials, people who care about humanity enough where they'll put themselves on the line and provide a presentation for us of spiritual enlightenment, of refinement, and direction. I thank Allah for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and Brother Minister Ishmael Muhammad for the presentations they give from Mosque Mariam for the world to see. But price stability, folks, check this out. In any economy, price stability is where your gold, your economy doesn't change much over time, right? The price levels, meaning the purchasing power, all right? Those spiritual centers that are closed, even those that were courageous enough to open up and share a word with us via internet, the global community, it still deserves our support. It still deserves our financial abilities to sustain it, to sustain the foundation, to sustain the program and the position. Well, how do you do that from home without a job? You create one at home. And when you create one at home with the power of gold, you won't have to look back. In Savior's Day of 2019, we gave more than 50 grams of gold in appreciation. And that gold then wasn't worth nearly what it is now. All praise due to Allah. You just need to think about this now. Okay. In 1920, that's the Model T Ford or rendition of it. You could have purchased it for $645 because gold was the transactionable entity and it was backed by gold. Or you can supply 1 kilogram of gold and you can walk away with that car. Now, today in 2020, the base sticker price for the SUV is basically $40,000. Does it mean that it's worth that much more? No, it means there's not that much value to the dollar because it's not backed by anything. So because it's not backed by anything, it takes more of the dollars to satisfy the requirements, the purchasing or the selling requirements of the seller or manufacturer. It takes more of them. So when I told you earlier, 3 to 5 cents worldwide is the fluctuating value of the US dollar. It cannot hold value because it does not have an asset attached to it. So therefore, it takes more of those. But if you just use 1 kilogram of gold, man, you can get that car. You can almost get 2. And you'll get change back. Because again, inflation is where prices of goods and services go up and your money decreases. The power in your money decreases. The value of it decreases. Look at that $20 bill in 1998. Look how stately and resolute it was. And look what it did for your basket. And then they went to work on the dollar, made it brighter, made it bigger, but it put less in your basket. Maybe they should have left it alone. But here we are today in 2020. This thing is so weak and so faded. So is your basket. There's a better way. So the number one millionaire secret: exchange declining dollars into the world's best tier 1 appreciating asset, gold. Tier 1 means in the world of the wealthy and in the world of finance, it means no risk. There's no risk involved in securing gold because gold is an asset that does not carry debt. But the mindset has a shift. That's how you successfully pay yourself first. It's about what you have developed in your mental, what you can come to grasp with, okay? The basic poor and middle class spend before we save. And what happens when you spend? That language really should be removed from us. You know, we should be empowered to circulate, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan used to teach us. So when you look at his teachings and you look about his teaching with economic development, the economic blueprint, the 3-year plan, when you look at these entities, they're designed to create circulation of money as opposed to the spending of money. When you spend money, you're chasing it away from you. It doesn't have the ability to return. But a circulating dollar is when you start from a point of origin and it circulates and works its way back to you with the point of origin, but multiplied. So we're not in that situation yet, many of us, because we don't carry the mindset. So we're in spend and then save mode. But the wealthy, the rich, they save and invest in themselves first. Then they spend out of their coffers later. So you find in this example, this is probably one of the clearest examples to show that where the trick has been played. We, the human family, have become the residual income for an elite percentage of wealthy. But now it's time to get it all for yourself once again, because God brought it all to a grinding halt. We're going to show you how to do that. We're going to help you start your own business today, right now, and maximize your tax benefits. You pay yourself first with the goal. You're going to create a residual income by building a referral network. And we're going to show you how to do it through our compensation plan. Check this out. We work out of two principles, and that's leverage and exponential growth. All right. Our leverage is based in saving gold, and telling others creates the exponential growth. There's a wealth principle that's been accredited to Mr. J. Paul Getty. He said, I would rather, or quoted to have said, I would rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own efforts. That makes a lot of sense, because there's some people in the world that have done that with you. Now, I'm nobody's financial advisor. I'm just showing you calculations, illustrations, and they're all for illustration purposes only. They're not a guarantee of income. I can guarantee that you can make money in Karatbars. That I can guarantee. What I can't guarantee is how much. That's about your drive, your passion, the size of your dream. So let me show you how it works. From the free gold savings account that you can register for today, we have what's called unilevel bonus. Now, I did mention that the account is free, didn't I? If you can show me, naysayers, something that costs less than free, I might entertain it. But I haven't found anything in my 60 years to suggest that. Look, a unilevel bonus, to get your free gold savings account, you simply provide your name, your phone number, your address, your email address, your date of birth. You choose a username for your account, and you choose a password. That's it. Remember, we talked about debt. Well, my father taught me this valuable lesson. He said, the system of this world, this capitalist society, is run by a system, and all systems are designed to create roles in society. That's what a job is for people. It's a role in society, he said. Okay. But then he went on to say poverty. This is the definition. Poverty is punishment for a crime you did not commit. So we're born into a world of debt, and we carry debt with us every single day of our life to keep the debt clock running. In fact, when you look at the dollar bills, it has serial numbers on it, right? Those serial numbers track the amount of debt in the world. Your social security number tracks the amount of the movement of that debt. In your free gold savings account, we don't care nothing about them serial numbers, and we don't care nothing about your social security number. We didn't even ask you for it. Unilevel bonus. How it works? You sponsor at least 5 people to maximize that plan. You save gold for yourself, and you share with others how they can do the same. And you can earn up to 6% commission monthly into infinity. You'll be compensated monthly through our unilevel compensation plan to infinity. Infinity, if you don't know, means forever. Then you have our direct commissions. Well, our direct commissions is an option. All of them are options. But it's an option that you exercise when you decide you want to build a team. You want to build a business. And instead of just relying on the monthly residual that you get from your free gold savings account, you can now acquire a package and get paid 5 times a month. That means 4 weeks as well as the monthly compensation. How does it work? Well, you have a package, and then you get someone else to acquire a package from you. So if Bob gets a package from me, I receive a 10% commission based off of Bob's acquiring the package. But if Bob gives one to Ted, I get 3% commission and Bob gets a 10%. But if Ted gives one to Sue, I get a 2% commission, right? Ted gets a 10% commission and Bob gets a 3% commission. It's all direct commission. Now I'm going to show you the power in just this example of leverage and exponential growth. Suppose I don't want to tell just Bob. Suppose I get 10 people to do what I've done. And then those 10 people go get 10 people, because it's all duplication. And then those 10 people who got 100 people get those 10 people to do what I did. I'm getting paid from 1,000 people at 2% that I don't even know, may not ever meet. Then you have another line of 100 people where I'm getting 3, and another line, the original line, when I'm getting 10%. But listen, family, a team is defined as one person that you've reached and you ask them to go out and find two. That's it. That's direct commission. I started to brag about how many people I have on my team, but that would not be correct. Dual team bonuses. Now, the dual team bonus works this way. You build your teams and they fall automatically in our system on the right side and the left side. Well, what happens is for everything they do in the organization, when they acquire gold or products or business packages, it creates what's known as units. Those units create wealth for you, because if you develop 25 units on one side and 50 units on the other of your organization, you'll guarantee what's known as a dual team payout. We call that affectionately DTPs. Those DTPs guarantee you a payout into infinity. They run forever. Infinity is our big thing. That's how we do. It's forever like God. All right. So how does it work? Well, depending on the status of the package you acquire. If you get a bronze package, you gain 40 euros per payout. Or you can get a VIP package and gain 80 euros per payout, which translates into 100 US dollars or so per payout. Now, how many times can you get paid out? Well, it depends on the size of your team, because you can get paid up to 180,000 times a week. A week. Why? Because there are no levels and we deal in exponential growth. Look at it this way. We have, let's say you get in when you fit in, and I can acquire a bronze package. That's great. They're millionaires off a bronze package. They're millionaires off of silver, gold, and naturally VIP. But here's a fast track upgrade way. This is known as the 5 and 5 promotion. So if you acquire a package within the first 5 weeks of the opportunity, and you go out and get 5 other affiliates to do what you have done, the acquired package at your level or higher, you're upgraded to the next highest package status at no cost. You can receive up to 2 to 3 upgrades just doing this. You can actually earn 2 upgrades within your first 5 weeks to the next highest package status at no cost. It's all about exponential growth. It's all about the leverage. So if you open your free account, you acquire a business package, and you save in gold, and then you start a dual team by telling 2 people to do the same, the commissions start flowing. But so does the growth of your organization and your business. Look how it grows. So let's say you're home for the next 30 days. Let's say you're home for the next 60 days. Let's say you're home for 90 or 120 days. Do you know within that time, if you follow the system, if you get it back to the one who introduces to you, or you get back with me, hopefully I might be the one that introduces to you, you can find yourself earning up to 2,000 plus a month in residual income, but just by following those 3 simple steps. And that's just the beginning for this, because again, as we told you, there are no levels. There's calculation to infinity, and you're guaranteed 180,000 dual team payouts a week. But here's another area where it stays sweet. You have what's known as the matching bonuses, man. The matching bonus works this way. If you're somewhere inside that 1,024 that we showed you on the previous screen, and you'll get a payout because you calculate, accumulated enough DTPs, units to develop a dual team payout, just because you got paid, I get a 5% matching bonus. You'll get a 5% matching bonus. So if you have a bronze status, that bonus goes into 2 generations. But if you have a VIP, it runs 7 generations. Now check out how powerful this is. VIP status means that if you're married, you and your spouse now have 14 generations of matching bonus income. But wait, if each of you have a business, because each individual is allowed to register a business in Carabal's as well as their own individual account, that would give you 28 generations of matching bonuses in following the system. You'll never run out of units, and you'll never hurt for money. Our packages are very unique because they produce what's known as E-points, which stands for exclusive points, and they produce free gold. You can earn gold in this opportunity. And how it basically works, you acquire a package and you tell other people. Now we know the exponential growth is massive, but we're just going to show you what it works, how it works with just 2 people join on to the opportunity for you. But to get an understanding, you can get, each status comes with a euro payout under the dual team program. And again, all this is optional, folks. The prices you see there, those are written in US dollars, and it's for the illustration purpose to give you a roundabout way of how much it may cost, but you get back with the one who introduces you to opportunity. All right. And then you accumulate E-points. E-points are included in each package. 7,400 E-points are included in this particular package. The one that's in front of us, package number 7. It gives you grams of gold and E-points. But let's show you how it works on a generating level. Okay. Let's just work with the power of 2 so that you understand. So you have a VIP package, you invite 2 people. That's great. You earn 900 points for each one of those people. That means 1,800 points have been generated for you just under that. But if those 2 get 2, and those 2 get 2, and those get 2, and so on down to 7 generations, you have 115,000 E-points. But if it's you and your spouse, you might have 230,000 E-points. Or if it's you and your businesses, your 2 businesses, you might have 460,000 E-points. Well, what does that do for you? You can change the accumulation. You can exchange it for free gold. You can use those to get the K1 Impulse phone. Many of you were invited to this platform today through my phone, the K1 Impulse phone, highly encrypted, the highest encrypted form, military grade phone in the world, completely unhackable. We're awaiting delivery on our WIM laptops now, which are also completely unhackable, and they work in correlation with the phone. You can get those just by exchanging your points. You don't have to put out no money. Look, you can acquire other goods, products, and services from the many merchants around the world who are part of this magnificent opportunity under the K Merchant program. You can work with our cryptocurrency exchange with these points. And you can acquire Bitcoin, Ethereum, or our very own KBC coin, the only cryptocurrency coin in the world linked to pure gold. So why is that link so important? Because you see the fluctuation of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. Bitcoin made 23,000 millionaires in 2017. Bitcoin got up to close to $20,000 per coin when people bought it for pennies to $1. Our coin is running roughly right now 3 or 4 cents, but again, it's backed by gold, and hardly anyone knows it's out there. But what happens when the world catches on? Because gold will soon hit $3,000, $4,000, maybe $10,000 an ounce, according to speculators. Your coin, because it's linked to gold, can never fall below the value of the coin, folks. And you have the opportunity to get it here free by just exchanging exclusive points. You can get those coins from your profits, not your pocket. That's leverage. Or you can take those 460,000 accumulated points and redeem them for cash. Man, to borrow the words of Mr. Dalco, this thing is fire. We're talking language, y'all. The accumulating long-term incentive programs and Carabars can reward you anywhere from a beautiful leather bag to $1 million property built anywhere in the world with keys put in your hand and a deed in your name, built at the expense of Carabars International in appreciation for circulating gold. Our payment system is simply this. We have been vetted by MasterCard, and we have an exclusive private partnership with MasterCard. In case you don't know, MasterCard is the world's largest vetter of businesses, organizations, corporations, and people. And they vetted this system completely that's been around now, coming up on year 10 or 11, excuse me. All right. And it has a private partnership. So all the cash commissions, that the earnings that we showed you that are potentially made, they are moved to our MasterCard. So if you have a monthly savings, you'll see it on your card the first of each month. If you have a weekly commissions, then what happens is you'll see both the weekly and the monthly payment move to your card every week, and a monthly savings every month. Or if you're saving gold consistently, we have a beautiful program known as Auto Exchange. You save in gold consecutively for 12 months. Carabars will reward you and your ability to refer others to do as you have done. You can earn up to 25 grams of gold per month. Free. I won't get into that. I'll get to hooping and hollering. Y'all think I done start talking in tongues or something. So here are our Carabars advantages. We're a 9-year-old company operating in 146 countries. We told you that our product is delivered to your door by FedEx. We have an exclusive partnership with MasterCard. We have over 900 affiliates worldwide, and we have a complete support system. You're in business for yourself, but we can guarantee you're not by yourself. There's no cost to register. It is free to register. All you need, again, is your name, your birth date, your address, your phone number, your email address. You choose a username, you choose a password, that's it. And you are in business with 8 billion people around the world. There are no mandatory fees or monthly expenses. This is not an MLM. This is not a direct marketing program. This is not a direct sales program. We are in the people building business, and our business is, our product is gold. You family, those of you who are believers in faith traditions, but particularly followers of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Nation of Islam, you are in the salvation business. You are in a position now to be rewarded for it, because as Mother Tanetta said at the beginning, there was a process involved where we will understand the power of luxury, money, good homes, and friendships, and all walks of life. And I know you think you understood it, but if you did understand it, how come you never say luxury? You always say money, good homes, and friendships, and all walks of life. Well, what happened to luxury? It wasn't erased or removed from the lesson. Just a thought. You receive, in opening your free gold savings account, a 24/7 state-of-the-art multi-million-dollar software that operates worldwide at no cost to you. And again, our product is money. It's a 24 karat 999.9 pure gold LBMA certified asset. This means it is the grade of gold that nations use to settle debt. So this is you, family. This is where you are right now. This is where we live. And just to help you understand or bring home to you a little more about language, about the attitude, about the posture of what we represent, I want you to hear me and see me, your brother and your friend. All right. I am a believer in Allah in the last day. And I know the power of what we have right now because it's been proven to me. Okay. And I share it out of what has been proven, what I know, not what I believe, what I know. I used to believe on the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Nation of Islam. Now I know the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Nation of Islam, because a process took place by which I went just from believing and hoping that it was correct, right, and exact, to now knowing that it's correct, right, and exact. And we make it available to the rest of the world. Everybody can embrace the principles and concepts, the program and position of the Nation of Islam. And if everyone did, everyone would coexist peacefully. So I want to share with you why I call this gold the language. First, I would like to share with you this book. It's called Gold, the Forgotten Resource by Pastor Harry Wiley. It's a wonderful, wonderful book. He shares certain, and it's an easy read. He shares certain value systems, concepts, and scriptural references that you find in the Bible throughout on gold. To bring home what we shared with you. You heard from Mother Tanetta Muhammad, which I'll probably share with you again as we close out. I'll play those clips again. And you heard from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan sharing the power and the value of gold. Remember, when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad introduced it to him in 1961 at his table in his home, that 1 ounce of gold was $35. And when he shared the information he shared with you on this screen today, that was from 2016, and gold was $1,237 an ounce at that time. Today, gold is hovering around $1,700 an ounce right now. Why? Take it off the bookshelf, dust it off, and go to chapter 20 of Fall of America from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And though it was written in 1973 or published in 1973, you tell me how relevant it sounds today. Now, in that presentation from Minister Farrakhan that you heard earlier, he talked about the banks being in trouble, and he spoke as to why and what they were dealing with cash. And it's safe to assume or summarize that, or surmise rather, trying to get my lingo right, that cash is trash. It still has a space right now, but it's a small one, it's a small window. But what happens when it all goes out the window? what happens when you're already not going outside your homes? You're already now building, hopefully you're building gardens and storing food and canning food and preparing for a long haul. I'm hoping you're doing that. Okay. But what happens when your money's no good? When you can't exchange over Amazon and all those things, you need a store of value. That's why you should stack gold and or silver, because that is money. We're going to close out with the language. So, decline of the dollar from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'm going to share with you what it says. It says the stronghold of the American government is falling to pieces. She has lost her prestige among the nations of the earth. Even her own people are cussing out every day on the station. That was me. That was the messenger. Okay. Going back to this reading. One of the greatest powers of America was her dollar. The loss of such power will bring any nation to weakness, for this is the medium of exchange between nations. The English pound and the American dollar have been the power and beckoning light of these two great powers. But when the world went off the gold and silver standard, the financial doom of England and America was sealed. Sealed. That means you can't leak out, it's sealed. Nothing get in, nothing get out. He said, but when the world went off the gold and silver standard, the financial doom of England and America was sealed. It was inevitable. That's why he was able to tell the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan years earlier in 1961 that gold will be the new medium of exchange. Mr. Muhammad continues, the pound has lost 50% of its value. America's dollar has lost everything now as power backing for her currency, which was once backed by gold for every $5 note and up, right? All of her currency was backed by silver from a dollar note up. But today, he says, the currency of America is not backed by any sound value, silver or gold. The note today is something that the government declares they will give you the value in return, but does not name what that value is. But they definitely are not backing their currency with silver or gold. He says, this is the #1 fall. And it is very clear that the loss of the power of the American dollar means the loss of the financial power of America. What will happen since there is no sound backing of her notes? We do not know. Then he goes on as we conclude this portion. What should we expect even in the next 12 months under the fall of the power of America's dollar? This means that we will have 100% inflation. What could happen under 100% inflation? Mr. Muhammad says, your guess is as good as mine. The power of gold and silver were once abundant in America, but the touch of the finger of God against the power of so mighty a nation has now caused the crumbling and fall of America. That, family, we say we believe, now we know. All right, I'm gonna give you something with the language so you understand. Problem book 13 speaks of luxury, money, good homes, and friendships in all walks of life, right? That was given to us Muslims, followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, by him through the Savior, Master Fard Muhammad. Okay? It was given to us through him. Then you have advancing, you look into problem book 31. I want you to go to that and make your references. I want you to refer back to this, replay this and refer back to the clip from Mother Tanetta Muhammad, who understand and understood the promise. Now understand your books. Isn't it interesting? I found a really profound Pastor Wiley's treatise putting this thing together. So I study. Do you know that gold is mentioned 417 times in the Bible? Yeah, in the King James Version. Silver is mentioned 320 times. Money is mentioned 140 times. Paper's not mentioned, cash is not mentioned, because they're not sustainable. Gold 417, silver 320, money 140. If you know the full value of money, which is silver and gold, you add up these numbers and you get 877. What is the purpose of the Bible? The purpose of the Bible, Muslims, is to make us aware of the reality of God. It's been a manipulated and tampered book, but you can read into the subtleties of it with companion pieces like the Holy Quran and other scripture readings and leadership. You can read into the sciences and nature of God. The revelation of Scripture is designed to show all the world that God is one. The Honorable Minister Farrakhan asked me, he said once, brother, why does God judge? His answer was so that everyone will agree with him. So the only reality is God, his way, his will, his purpose, his permission, and his example. So we are nothings without the power of God. That's why a zero has no value, because it's considered a cipher. It has no value unless you put the one to back it. So you have gold, silver, money. You add up those numbers, it comes out to 877. But if you have a God that backs it, you have the birth year of the man who made this all possible for us to understand. Master Fard Muhammad. Master Fard Muhammad was born February 26, 1877 in the holy city of Mecca. He brought it to us. He helped us to understand what we were to grow into. He was the one that confounded all the scientists before him because his light was so bright, nobody can see him coming. But he chose one. He chose one. And those two chose one in front of us today. And I'm going to tell you something else that I got from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I also heard this from our CEO and founder, Mr. Ty Best. The minister told me that, and Mr. Best has said it more recently, that any man can count the amount of seeds in an apple, but only God can count the amount of apples in a seed. Only God can count the amount of apples in a seed. So you don't know what's in the next individual to produce, but we know there's something there. The seed of liberation only takes one. It didn't take 1,000 people. All it takes is one who's willing to run a particular race at a particular time. You, family, have that opportunity in front of you right now. I've been piping to you almost an hour and a half, and I appreciate the opportunity you shared with me. And I hope you're willing to share this with others. But the truth of the matter is, gold is money. And as you store yourselves in your homes and you reacquaint yourself with your family and those that you're made to be with, some of you are single and don't have people in the home with you, but you have the power of the internet. Use the internet. I love what the DJs and musicians and artists are doing around the world. I love seeing the antidotes that are offered by hospital and healthcare professionals over the internet to show you how you can shore up your health and your physical constitution to combat the scourge of the virus. Now we're using it to show you how you can shore up and secure the wealth and the value of your home. Because I guarantee you, if you don't have this knowledge, that stimulus package, if there's any value to it, it'll end up being a stimulus car. It'll end up being stimulus groceries, and then it's gone. What is your plan after that? All right. Many of you are expecting tax returns. Well, what are your plans after that? Traditionally, you know what we did with a tax return? We get that refund and we spend it on that brand new used car. Do you want that to be your existence today? Because you have to eat. You have to keep a roof over your head. You have to have clothes on your back. You need a vehicle by which you can realize your dreams, your pursuits, your mission. And if you're in the salvation business like we are in the salvation business, you need a vehicle by which you can continue the course of the mission. Gold is God's language. Savior gave it to you right here. Get on board. Go back to the one who introduced this opportunity with you, or to you rather, of Carabars, and let them know you're ready to get started and open your free gold savings account. And then join us on our trainings. We will show you the whole litany of how you can be free by paying yourself first. We will show it to you. It's been an honor and privilege to share with you. Look for updates that you'll find from me on the different trainings that we'll be doing. I will be on Gold Rocks later on this evening. Go to www.goldrocks.info tonight at 9 p.m. for the fast track training there. And you'll hear from other leaders that are really going to show you how to make this happen for yourself. And then we do trainings every day. But on Tuesday at noon, I will be live on goldrocks.info, www.goldrocks.info, and I'll be doing a full training there so you can bring your family, huddle them around that doggone screen. share with people through your phone and your email and your text messaging, and let them know that there's an opportunity where they can realize the life of their dreams from the safety and the comfort of your own home. Okay, so I thank you for that. I'm going to share the screen one more time so you can hear the words of Mother Tanetta and others, and I will conclude here, but I'll allow that to play. Peace and power. Forward to you, family.
Five. Now, again, using the mathematical code and breaking down numbers and letters, then you look, it's like a safe of treasure. If you turn the right connection, then you can open the safe, and then you can get the gold, right? Okay, so we were promised gold. Slave master left and gave it his interpretation, right? So then that gold one day will become ours, wherever it is, because the Savior came to give us luxury, money, good homes, friendship, and all walk of life. But we have to do the work to spiritually come into the knowledge of who we are. And then all things will be given unto us.
Everything's always about the dream. Always about the dream. I was 20 years old. I'd already done 6 years in corporate America. And a guy stopped me in the locker room and asked me, do I know anyone who'd like to make an extra $1,500 a month? He didn't talk about getting rich. He didn't talk about getting wealthy. He didn't even talk about freedom. So you don't have to oversell this thing. You know, the average person would love to make an extra $300 to $500 a month. So we talk about putting millions of people in carry bars. Now we're talking about 20, 30, 40 million people in carry bars. We're not talking about everybody become a multi-billionaire. You can, if you want to pay that price. I hear people tell me, I want to be a billionaire. Well, okay, no problem. I want to be a multi-millionaire. Well, you can, okay, but it's going to require you cutting off the television. It's going to require you missing some football games, some basketball games. It's going to require some sacrifice on part that only you know if you're willing to make. So I like keeping it simple. That guy asked me, do I know anybody like to make an extra $1,500 a month? I said, yes, me. I didn't know what he was talking about, and I got excited. I got a little bit excited. I got a twinge of hope. There I was 6 years in corporate America. I mean, I'm 20 years old. Had my own home, 4 cars in the driveway, pool in the backyard. My wife was a flight attendant, so I could fly anywhere in the world pretty much for free or for peanuts. Okay, I had all the cars I wanted to drive, didn't buy insurance, didn't put gas in them. The company fed me 5-6 nights a week. I'm living on a company expense report. I mean, I live a lifestyle people dream about. I wore my shirt and tie to work, my briefcase. I look good, status good, but as far as I was concerned, I was still broke. Not broke compared to my next door neighbor. Not broke compared to the guys in my neighborhood. Just broke compared to people who had some real money. That makes sense? Just broke, like one of my nephews one day asked me, Uncle Tyrone, people in the family say you're rich. I said, well, compared to you, I'm rich. You don't have any money. But compared to Oprah, Uncle Tyrone broke. Okay, so it's a relative term. Money is relative. And money's not to do all to say all. Okay, because when you have some serious health issues going on that money can't solve, you realize how unimportant money is. But I tell you what, I got started. And I'll never forget that first meeting I was sitting there, Mr. Williams, Miss Abram. I'll never forget it. I'm sitting at first meeting on about 200 people in that room, maybe 180, 200 people. And that guy was talking about homes and cars. He was talking about all these material things you could have. And I'm sitting saying, man, I got 4 cars in the driveway now. I got 2 Lincolns in the driveway, a Ford Mustang and a Grand Marquis, 2 company cars and 2 I own. I was just sitting there, didn't mean anything to me. But all of a sudden he started talking about something that meant something. He said, have you ever thought about being free? Now, as far as I was concerned, I thought I was free. I mean, he talking about the height of ignorance. I thought I was free. He said, ever thought? No, I mean really free. I said, man, I'm free right now. He said, I know that some of you are sitting there thinking you're free. He said, if you think you're free, don't show up on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and by Thursday, you'll be free. And when he said that, it hit me. I was not free. He said, freedom is when you throw away the alarm clock and you sleep to the crack of noon. Freedom is when you wake up in the morning and do what you want to do with your life. Freedom is when you go to that golf course on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday and play golf when everybody else is at the office. Freedom is when you go fishing on Tuesday, Wednesday. Freedom is when you stroll in the movies with your kid on a Wednesday afternoon and there's nobody in the movie theater but you and your child because everybody else is at work. Freedom is when all the fathers at work and you're the only father at the Little League baseball game with your kid or your grandkids. Man, he started painting that picture for freedom, guys. And I never forget, I sit up in my chair. I said, wait a minute, what's this freedom thing you're talking about? Okay. And it blew my mind. He asked a simple question. What's retirement age? Everybody started yelling out numbers. 65, 75. He said, see how we've been conditioned? Retirement doesn't have anything to do with age. Retirement has everything in the world to do with money. This couple speaking from the stage were 32 years old. He and his wife were both retired. 2 brand new Cadillacs in their driveway, owned their brand new home. And they were both retired at 32 years old. I said, oh my God, I got to get this freedom thing. Okay. And I didn't know. I know how long it's going to take me to get free. Some of you right now today, you don't know how long it's going to take you to get free. You want to be free right now, you can taste it. I see Dante Taylor, he can taste it, man. He can taste it. I can hear it in his voice. He can take that people who can taste this freedom thing. They want it, but you willing to pay the price to get it. When I saw it, I was willing to pay the price. Man, before then, I knew every television program that came out. I was a walking TV guide. You could call me and say, what time did the show come on, Tyrone? I didn't have to put out the news, but I could tell you what time it came out. I was a walking TV guide. Okay? I spent the weekend watching football like everybody else. But when I saw freedom, when I saw that freedom thing, when I was sold that dream of freedom, man, I shut it all down. I said, I'm going after freedom. And at 32 years old, I was able to, my wife and she was able to walk away from a job she'd been on for 8 years as a flight attendant for U.S. Air. And she walked, yes, we gave up the flying privileges. Yes, we gave the benefits. Yes, we gave up the stock options, gave it all up. Okay, why? So I had a kid and he didn't even know his mama. He'd come home and she'd go to reach for him and he'd run because she's flying and she didn't know him and he didn't know her. Okay, it was breaking her heart. I said, quit. And she walked away at 32 years old. My son don't even remember. He's 32 right now. He don't ever remember his mother having a job. It took me 8 more years. I didn't retire till I was 40 years old. I'm telling you, I'd do it all over again. It took me 20 to walk into a job you've had for 10 years. 18 years in corporate America and say, I'm out and never look back. That was July 14th. July 14th. That's tomorrow. That'll be 22 years. Freedom. What it's all about. Back to you, Mr. Williams.
business is really warfare, but it's the activity of life itself. You say, well, business means I need to open up a business. Okay, yeah, that's right. But real activity of life has to deal with all the essentials of life that we must provide for ourselves, our families, our future. I have something in my pocket that, gee, where is it? Oh, yeah. I have a gold coin. In 1961, I was sitting with Elijah Muhammad, and he took out of his pocket a gold coin. This is 1 ounce of gold, pure gold, okay? Mr. Muhammad put it on the table. He said, one day soon, this gold coin will be the new medium of exchange. White people are moving into the inner city. Some of them knocking on doors. They come with money and they ask you for your gold. Because what they're giving you, I think I got some of that in my pocket. Yeah, I think I do. Now this is paper. This is not real money. This is real money. Silver as real money. Now you young people, some of the elders in the audience, like myself, this used to be called a silver certificate. How many old people in here know when this was a silver certificate? And you know what it said on the bottom? Pay to the bearer on demand $50 in silver, the real money. This is what you call monopoly money. Oh, you didn't hear me. We're going to do some business tonight. Because business is really warfare. What's about to happen? This week it came out in the news that in 2016, all the major banks are in trouble. It started with J.P. Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. What makes a bank in trouble? When the value of the paper that they have begins to lose its value, then the bank is in serious trouble. And so are we who have our money in the bank. Now, white people that are in your neighborhood, they're in the pawn shop now, and they're telling you in the window, bring the gold, we got cash for you. They know you don't know that this is losing its value every day. But gold will increase in value. Now this one here, I bought it today, or sent a brother to get it today, because I wanted to use it to explain something. 1 ounce of gold, this little piece right here, is $1,237 today. It went up to $1,800, but it began to fall. But when Elijah Muhammad put that gold coin on the table, an ounce of gold you could buy for $35 an ounce.
You got to have the courage. Do you have the courage to act outwardly on what you see inwardly? Or will you die a dreamer? Will you die on the verge and on the edge and in the land of coulda, woulda, and shoulda? Do you have the courage? I'm going to drop something on you. It takes courage to be successful. It is far easier not to be successful. Misery will always have company. Success breeds contempt. If you don't want to make waves, be mediocre. Be normal and fit in. And if you're more concerned about people than you are God, then neutralize everything he put in you. Just fit in with everybody else. Dress like them, walk like them, act like them, eat like them, go where they go, think like they think, do what they do. And once you've neutralized your uniqueness, you don't need courage. It takes courage to be different. It takes courage to go where you've never gone before. For some of you, it took courage to come to this conference. It takes courage to get you outside of the box. It takes courage to be successful. It takes courage to win. People don't talk about people that don't win. If you win, they're going to talk about you. Do you have the courage to stand there though the storms keep raging and the people get to talking and you stand there and say, I've come too far to turn around? Do you have the courage? I'm going to say something to you. It takes courage to be exceptional. It takes courage to be wise. It takes courage to be rich. It takes courage to be educated. It takes courage to be knowledgeable. Because the moment you do, but you don't talk like you, you don't forgot where you came from. Look at you, talk to, it takes courage. And I'm just wondering, in this weak, watered-down, mediocre society that we live in today, in this reality TV world we live in today, I'm wondering if there's anybody left that's got the courage to say, after all I've been through, and all my ancestors have been through, and all my parents have been through, I didn't come through all of that just to fit in